Come on in, everybody. We're getting started here for Cash Call. I'm sitting outside, don't worry. Just thought I'd take advantage of the amazing temperature outside today and enjoy a fire pit. So come on in, take a seat around the circle here, and we'll get things rolling.
Yep, Dale's going to give us his fire here in a second. I'll enjoy it with him vicariously. So I have no fire. It is cold here though. I woke up to snow and like 25 degrees. So I guess I can't complain. It was 72 on Sunday. So
Nice. That's fantastic.
All right. So as Dale gets this set up, I just want to remind everybody, we've added a Q&A session at the end. So if you guys have questions, it doesn't have to be about specifically what Dale and I talk about, but if it's about communication, if it's about scripting, if it's about conversion, anything that has to do with talking to people, feel free to put that in the Q&A or in the chat, and we will get all those questions answered at the end. Yeah. Do you want to go first with your calls for this afternoon, Dale?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. All right, cool. So, this call that I pulled for today is it's an ISA, and it's like one of those crazy things. And I don't know that, I don't know if you ever train on this stuff, but like, what do you do when somebody's in crisis, or what do you do when somebody's recently had a loss, or what do you do, when somebody has recently gone through a divorce or got robbed or whatever the crazy stuff is that they say? Because if you're working leads, if you're talking to strangers, if you talk to enough strangers, you are going to run across crazy scenarios, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like this is a really good example of what this ISA did, and I think that we can use it as a training point.
Perfect.
So I'll go ahead and play this. I was trying to push this live into my own Smart Inside Sales group, but it's not cooperating with me today. So let's see. And if you have any issues with my sound, let me know, Brian, because I'm not using a headset out here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Jill. It's Team at Baird and Warner Real Estate on a recorded line. How are you doing today?
Who is this?
It's Melissa,
If you had to repeat
Real
yourself.
Estate. I was calling regarding your inquiry online for a property at 22779 Brookstone Court. Did you want to take a look at that property?
What town is that in?
I believe it's in Frankfort, Illinois.
Yes, I did, but I can't until I have a wake and a funeral.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. I'm so sorry to hear that. When would you like to schedule it?
She just moves right on, right?
Yeah, sorry that 7 people died.
I'm sorry that you have a wake and a funeral. When would that be over? Do you want to go straight from? Do you want to go straight from the cemetery, or maybe the next day? How do we work this out?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more empathy right there might be appropriate.
Maybe right there, but I don't think she did anything wrong, right? She didn't labor over it. She didn't get stuck in it. She didn't give up, because listen, I've heard other agents and ISAs who are like, "Oh my God, you must be having such a hard time," or "Let me not bother you. When else can we talk?" and just bail out of the conversation, right? She didn't.
Yeah. And I do appreciate that. You can see this conversation is 5 minutes, 49 seconds long, so it's obviously going to continue forward. But, one of the things you might say in this, I'm so sorry for your loss. Is this a good time for us to talk, or would there be a better time for me to call you back? That might be acceptable, as well. Clearly, it's not required because this person went through. So I'd love to hear what happens, because I haven't listened to this. So that'll be interesting for sure.
Either for
She was literally thinking about when a better time would be.
this weekend or for maybe Monday, till all of this is done.
Okay, and do you want to just shoot for Monday, just so you can kind of
Yes,
have,
please.
okay. What's a good time for you Monday?
In the afternoon would be good.
Monday afternoon at what time?
Anytime in the afternoon that you have open.
Okay. Are there other properties that you would like to take a look at, Jill?
I have not looked through them because of
I totally understand. Yep. Okay. And can you tell me what you liked about this particular property?
I'm looking
She's just soldiering right on through.
for I like the land.
Okay. Okay. And as far as bedrooms and bath, what are you looking for?
That I'm not
I'm gonna skip forward. Well, actually, the juicy part might be coming up real soon here.
really sure because I'm getting a divorce, so I'm coming from a 6-bedroom, 5-bath house. So
Ah, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, and I totally
oh no,
understand.
I'm not sorry.
Oh, well, I
Been
totally
a long time
understand that
coming with that one.
downsizing. Okay. Um, awesome. Okay. And do you have to sell before you purchase?
No.
Awesome. Okay. And are you looking in particular area or just in Frankfurt or open to other areas as well?
So just remember what she said. I'm getting a divorce, and I'm assuming the divorce is after the funeral and wake.
Maybe.
She's just getting it all knocked out, or maybe she was going to kill the husband, and then there will be a funeral and wake, and she just divulged this information.
Yeah, seriously, she just admitted she was going to kill her husband. Excellent.
Right.
Like
But
Manhattan,
remember what she said.
Lockport.
Okay. Okay. And you're looking for a single family home, correct?
Either single family home, townhouse, or condo.
Okay. Do you have a budget in mind?
No, not at this time. I really don't. I'm just starting back out, so I don't need anything too extravagant.
Got it. Yep. And as far as paying, are you looking to get a loan or you looking to pay cash?
That I'm not sure yet because I will be moving with my boyfriend. 'Cause I've
Okay,
been
got it.
separated from my husband for 12 years, but living in the same house. So
Good
Got
Lord.
it. Okay.
Is you like it gets better? So the ISA is like, is somebody messing with me? What is going on here?
Mhm.
So she's moving with her boyfriend because her soon-to-be ex-husband and boyfriend have been living together for the last 12 years. So clearly, they need more space, and it's time to move on now.
Well, and let me just say this, and I think it's super important. I love that this ISA is not phased by anything.
She's just straight
Just
down
like
the road.
bam, 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 bam. I might suggest a slight amount more empathy, but as far as like, she's like, I got a job to do, and I'm going to ask you these discovery questions until you hang up on me. And I actually really appreciate that because, to your point, so many people would get way off track, not know what to do, freak out, and just like, well, I'll call you in a month. Okay, click. This woman wants to move. She wants to get on with her life. God bless her. So great job.
After the wake and funeral, though.
Yeah, well,
So that was pretty much it. I just wanted to demonstrate that because, like I said, I've heard many times where people get messed up over people saying that they have some kind of issue going on in their home life or family or whatever it may be. And my general rule for that stuff is if someone says to me clearly, hey, I can't continue with this conversation, or I don't feel comfortable, I have to go, I can't do this right now. Okay, totally get it, right?
absolutely.
Or if they're like choked up and trying to make out words between their sobs, I'm going to let them go, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody says, hey, I have this thing going on, and I say, well, I'm really sorry to hear that, right? You said maybe ask them if now is a good time to talk. I think that's perfectly fine. My general rule is, hey, I'm really sorry to hear that. And, I wish the best for you and your family. And then I'm going to move on to my next question. And if someone doesn't feel comfortable talking to me, or if they don't feel comfortable talking to an ISA or agent, they're going to stop you, right? They're going to tell you, or you're going to get that kind of like uncomfortable, weird answer or forced answer thing where you can really tell that somebody does not want to talk to you at all. In which case, I think you could just come back around and say, hey, it sounds like now's not a good time, and we can pick this up another time.
Yeah, I'll call you next week. You know, I understand you got a lot of stuff going on. And again, what Dale, I'm going to reiterate what he said. He's trying to read the client. Like if the person, you know, is just got nothing to give you right now, you know, then just be respectful of that, because it's not someone who's blowing you off. It's someone who's going through a bad time. You know,
Right.
we're getting divorced and we're happy, you know, clearly the divorce doesn't bother her. She's happy about it, but you know, we're going through divorce and we're also just had a family member, a friend, somebody significant die. So that's pretty significant. Those are two of the most major life events that people go through, and she's going through them simultaneously. So, you know, it could be a fun client to deal with.
Thank God she has a boyfriend.
Thank God she has a boyfriend.
They'll forget through. All right, everybody listening, just a reminder, if you guys have questions about objections, scripts, anything like that, dealing with lead conversion, what do I do if I'm getting ghosted, et cetera, chat those in or put them in the Q&A. We'll hit them up at the end of this session.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to play a quick call. This call's only 3 minutes long, so it's not a ton of meat in it, but there's some good opportunities here that get missed, and just want to show people it's a good call to listen to. So, all right. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Dale.
Hi. I just Zillow connected me to you.
Yes, ma'am. You inquired about a property at 916 South Lafayette Street in Rogers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get that looked up here. I just have some questions to help me do my job a little better.
Can you pause it?
You,
I want to talk about mirror and matching. He's not mirroring and matching her, right? She was like
No.
very high
Woo!
energy. And you could hear the confusion. She wants to be validated that she's doing the right thing and in the right spot, right?
Absolutely.
And he's just like, yep, you found the department, right?
Right. And that's one of the, I love that Dale brought that up, because so often when I listen to phone calls, that's what we miss. And especially like, I know this agent and he's a low energy guy. Like he's a good agent, but he's not gonna do anything super fast. But remember, the number one way to build rapport is to mirror and match people. That's the simplest, easiest, and fastest way. And again, I can't do it with my hands.
Do you heard how her energy came down when
Yes.
when his energy was low, right?
Yeah.
She almost sounds a little bit disappointed that he's the one she's talking to, honestly. If you listen to just the energies and what happened, right? You know, so it literally does make an impact.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about. This is who I am, deal with me. And that's great if you're in a relationship with somebody, friends, family, whatever. Yeah, they need to deal
That's
with
the
you.
golden rule. That's the golden rule, Brian. If you have the gold, you can be any way you want, right? If you need somebody's gold, you need to be like that.
Yes. So yeah, step one, you know, is build rapport of my 4-step process. And that is all about like every person, if you want to just take your conversion rate and maybe even double it, if your conversion rate's already high, you're not going to double it. But you know, this is really an opportunity to double your conversion rate. Step one, the second they talk, figure out what you're going to do, mirror and match. And I would say this, as a rule, come with more energy than less energy. Before, like if you're first, like, hey, this is Brian with Curtis Realty Group, don't call somebody and go, hey, this is Brian with Curtis Realty Group, and
Right.
I'm really bored to talk to you, but my broker makes me make phone calls.
Right.
You know, so
Err on the side of energy versus lack of
Absolutely.
energy.
Absolutely.
So Jennifer Malonis chatted in. He needed to introduce himself and let her know that Zillow transferred her because he is a premier agent for Zillow and he's going to take care of her. Yes, absolutely agreed, Jennifer. A little bit more explanation on his part. Hey, you got the right place. You're in the right spot. Congratulations, right? I'm happy to talk to you. Zillow put you in touch with me so I can get you taken care of.
Yes, and let me just say this: there was 7 seconds of this phone call that I didn't play because it's easier than me hitting the mute button like Dale. Dale's better at that than I am. So he did say a little bit of that, but I agree. That's a perfect intro. Hey, this is Brian Curtis. Zillow connected us. How can I help? you know, that type of thing. So, and actually, those of you who are Zillow Premier agents, Zillow trains this. They go for the appointment immediately. That's their training. Like, hey, this is Brian with Curtis Realty Group. I noticed you make an inquiry about 916 Main Street or whatever it was. When would you like to see the house? Like, they expect you to be that aggressive. Take that for what it's worth. So I like to be a little bit less aggressive than that, but I'm going to hit play here.
What kind of time frame are you looking at moving?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. I know that's not possible, but I mean,
Okay. You're just
immediately.
looking- Okay. All right. Is it just you, or are you married, kids? Anybody going to be
I ha-
living with you?
I have kids. I have a husband.
All right. Are you guys from the Rogers area?
Right now we live in Centerton.
Okay. All right. I got this house pulled up here. It said you were wanting to see it tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, it said that video chat thing. I don't know. Is that possible?
I could do a video tour with you. Do you have an iPhone by chance?
I do.
Okay, I could do a FaceTime if that would work for you.
Yes. Only because
Okay.
I just started. Well, I just started a new job a month ago, so I'm not trying to mess things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you wanted to see it after work, I could do that too.
So I like that he gave her an option to say, hey, look, I can be available when you're available. I understand that you're working during the day. Thought that was a really good thing that he did there. I just kind of wanted to point that out. Like, solve people's problems. Like, that's what we get paid for. We don't get paid to open doors. We get paid to solve problems. So I appreciate that he did that there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, like I wouldn't be able to do that until probably Friday, and it probably wouldn't be until about like 6:30 at night because I work in Lowell, but like I said, we live in Centerton, so it takes me an hour to get home to get my kids, and then I would have to backtrack.
Okay.
So
All right. Is a good callback from you number for you 908-528-2265?
Can you pause out?
Okay.
I think when she just talked about that pain point, right? I work an hour away from where I live, right? I want to move closer to where I work, which is what I believe she's trying to do, correct? Got to go back over here to get my kids. It's really an imposition for me to be able to go back and forth and look at these houses. I might just blow a little bit of air onto that ember of pain, right? And say, oh, listen, I totally get it. I know how difficult it can be to live so far from work. Don't worry, we're going to get you fixed up on your schedule, be able to make this work for you so you can get you and your family moved closer to where you need to be. Like, just take that moment, that little sales opportunity to drive it home farther that she wants to work with us and that we're going to fix the pain for her.
Right. And, you know, and by the way, every sale is a solution to a problem, right? Sometimes it's a little problem, sometimes it's a big problem, but that's exactly what you're saying is, hey, by the way, I'm going to help you solve your problem. I'm here for you. I'm servicing you. And that's,
I heard the pain.
Mm-hmm. Don't miss the opportunity to say that you understand, to be empathetic, and then to Dale's point, remind them of the pain a little bit, because that's what people do. Like, people take action for two reasons: pain or pleasure, right? I mean, I don't know if you know.
I love to say this, Brian. Like, when I'm doing sales training, I'm like, listen, get them to show you where the bullet wound is, and then put your finger in it when you need to. Right? Be like, remember that bullet wound right there? That hurts.
Yep. Perfect. All right. I'm going to play just a little bit more of this because there's an important thing that should be done differently. And I think I want to make sure we get it pointed out.
All right, Daniel, I tell you what, let me get with my wife real quick. She is actually a real estate agent as well. And I know we have some showings going tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me check with her and see what our availability is. And I will shoot you a text from my personal number just so you have it. And I will confirm with you if I can do noon.
Okay. If not, I mean, just let me know. I could take my lunch hour whenever I need to, if you don't mind me eating on the phone.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
All right, Danielle, I will talk with you very shortly, and I look forward to helping you find that house that you're ready to move into tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
So that's the end of it. Did you see the part that I don't like?
The part I didn't like was your ability to see that is going to be dependent on my schedule. That's the only part that I didn't like.
That's what I didn't like either. Set the
that-
appointment.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. She said she wanted to do it at noon. Now, luckily, and if you don't know what your schedule is, say perfect. Let's schedule it for noon, and then I will check the availability of the seller. We may not be able to do it at noon, and if not, then I will call you back and we'll figure out a time that works for both of us.
Yeah.
But don't make it I'm too damn busy to help you,
Right.
because that's what I heard.
Yeah, and because the lead is saying, listen, I've got a tight life. I live and work an hour apart from each other. I have kids. I have a new job I can't screw around on. You know, I'm gonna squeeze this into my 1 hour a day when I get a break from work. And he's like, well, I'll see if I can get you in there based on whether I'm busy or not. So I just,
Right.
again, I didn't like the way that he presented it. Is that the way it goes? Absolutely. Is that true? Absolutely. We don't need to tell her that though.
Right. There's multiple ways to solve that problem, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, by the way, and again, I can blame it on the seller. This is an occupied property potentially. I haven't looked, but hey, unfortunately the seller wasn't available at noon. What other times do you have?
And
yeah.
Listen, another solution sometimes is, depending on the relationships you have in your market, worst case scenario, reach out to the listing agent, be like, hey, this is a really hot buyer. They want to get in there. I can't do it for X, Y, and Z reasons. Would you be comfortable like taking them through? Like that would be one of the, that's like one of the last ditch efforts.
Yeah, let me say this. There's about 4 steps I get to before I get to that, me personally. So for example, on our team, we have a showing partner. Actually, we have 2 showing partners. So pay somebody to go show the house for you. If neither of those people are available, we also have 30 other agents at our brokerage. Call one of them and ask them to show it for you. And then absolutely, if there's no other opportunity, then say, hey, unfortunately, there's no availability at that time. You don't say I'm not available at that time, but there's no availability to see the house at that time. I talk to the seller. We can do anytime between 1 and 3 to any of those times work for you. So, work inside that, but yeah, it's kind of like default. A lot of people's default in life is no. As a real estate agent, as a salesperson, your default should be yes.
That's a great lesson, Brian. Some of the most amazing salespeople I've ever met, yes, everything. And you and I have a mutual friend who is amazing at the art of yes, when it actually isn't going to be yes, right? So some of the best salespeople, like I said, can even say no to you, but it still sounds like a yes. And you're like, I feel happy and great. They're like, wait a minute, was that a yes or no? I don't think that's going to happen, but I feel so good about it. That's great.
Yeah. And I think that's really the key. Now, there are times, and let me just say this. I always say my default is yes, but if somebody asks you a ridiculous question like, hey, would it be okay if I write offers on 4 different houses simultaneously? And that way I'll probably get one of them. There's an opportunity to say no. There's an opportunity,
let's talk about how the yes person would answer that. Okay. I'll practice. All right. So Brian, you asked me what you just asked me. You're a lead who wants a deal, right? And is kind of not really sure how things go.
Yeah, I'm worried that I'm not going to, I've written offers and I've gotten, houses have gone away and that's multiple offer things. So, hey, Dale, so I've written a bunch of offers on houses, and what my new approach is, there's 4 houses that I'd be willing to buy in this market right now. I know you've shown me those houses. I want to write an offer on all 4 of them, and then hopefully at least one of them will get accepted. Does that seem like a good idea to you?
I think it makes a lot of sense to hedge your bets. And yes, we can absolutely write offers on all of those houses. How many of them can you close on at the same time if they get accepted?
Oh, well, I'm only buying 1 house. I mean, I'm not made of money.
Okay, got it. Okay, here's what we do then. We do it one at a time, just in case you win, all right? Because we have to be able to buy the house you win on.
Oh, okay.
So I just said no, but it all sounded like yes.
It did. Absolutely. And you could tweak that a bunch of different ways, but again, Dale didn't sell him, no, you're an idiot, because that's we have a tendency to do with salespeople, like follow the no. And as Jennifer said, that was brilliant. And I agree. So, ask the next question. So, and if somebody says to you, I want to write an offer on 4 houses, what did Dale say? Well, you own 4 houses at the same time. Out of curiosity, what are you going to do if all 4 get accepted? Would be another question along those lines. Yeah, we can do it. Well, okay. So, maybe that's not the best approach. What if we did this? What if I wrote up all 4 offers and we submitted the first one, and then the second we found out about that one, I can literally submit the next offer and the next offer. So we'll be very prepared and ready to go if and when,
That's a yes.
What are you doing? It's
no.
another kind of yes. Yeah, it's a yes no. I think we just coined a new term. It's a yes no.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
but so many agents do this, and it's funny because Lab Coats, we're sponsored by Lab Coats, at least in part, and I see this all the time when people put objections up on Lab Coats. Step 1 of their objection handling is to tell the person they're wrong. Okay. If you don't learn anything else from Cash Call, step 1 of objection handling is to acknowledge and to be understanding and empathetic. It's not to be you're a moron. Because whether you believe that they're a moron or not, when somebody says, "Can I write an offer on 4 houses?" Absolutely not. Whoa, okay, let me tell you why that's dumb. Well, all I just did is call Dale dumb. How about, we can do that, but let's take a look at how the effect that's going to have and decide if that's plan for you or not. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the principles we teach is make them right no matter what, and in parentheses, stupid thing comes out of their mouth.
Yeah,
because they already think they're right. They wouldn't have said it if they didn't think they were right, or if they didn't think it was valid. Most people don't walk around saying things they think are asinine or ignorant, right?
Yeah.
The crazy things that come out of their mouths, the crazy opinions they have, they think they're right or validated in doing that, right? Or thinking that. Yeah. And so you just have to meet them where they're at and like turn them around slowly, like a cow or something,
It's a cruise ship. It doesn't turn on a dime. So
yeah, it's like it's making a U-turn in a battleship. It doesn't go quick.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a question here. Sorry, from Lori. Are you done with that point, or do you want?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. What
we're over time, and I want to make sure we honor the fact that somebody chatted in a question. So Lori wrote, "Hi, I am an ISO and wonder what to do when the lead no shows for the appointment with the agent. I have several cases where they answer my call and make appointments, but no show for the agent repeatedly."
I've got a process if you want.
Go, Brian. Go with your process.
Assume I'm going to make an assumption here that I have, as the agent, I've got the buyer's contact information. So I'm going to take a step back. When the ISA passes the lead, hopefully there's the 3-way text between the buyer or the client, the agent, and the ISA. So they're doing an introduction. So now we're communicating, because it's different. Like, I don't know Brian because I didn't talk to Brian. I talked to Dale. He's the inside sales guy. I didn't talk to Brian. I don't know him. I don't feel as bad no showing Brian because I've never even talked to him. So that's step 1. Make sure that you're passing that in a way that makes sense so that we can communicate all those people. Yes, always text intro to confirm the appointment. Okay, perfect. So do that. Secondly, the agent, in my opinion, because again, they have no rapport with them, they should send a video text. "Hey, Dale, this is Brian. I know you didn't get a chance to talk to me. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. Now you know what I look like. I'll see you at 123 Main Street on Tuesday," whatever the case may be. Thirdly, when they no-show you, send another video text with the address in the back. "Hey, Dale, it's Brian. I'm sure something came up. Life happens all the time, but I'm here at 123 Main Street. I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes. And so if you can make it, please give me a call."
Lori, I want you to chat in. Are you talking about ghosting or no showing for a showing, or no showing for a buyer consultation?
That does matter.
Because they're both different, right? Yeah. You will get many more no-shows for a buyer consult than you'll get for an actual showing. Ghosting for buyer consult, not showing. That's kind of what I thought, right? So, Lori, here's what I can tell you. If I asked you honestly, Lori, what exactly is that buyer going to get out of that buyer consult? What are they going to walk away with? What problems are they going to solve? What advantages are they going to get? What actual value would they say to you they're going to get from it? And if you can't answer that question very clearly with something more than learn about the process or know what they want so we can find them the right home, there just isn't enough value in there for that buyer to show up for the appointment. So 50% of them are just yesing you to get you off the phone and saying, "Yeah, I'll come to your consultation." One key element that we do in our scripting when we try to improve the show rate for consultations, it would sound something like this. And I'm going to give Brian value propositions. Okay, Brian, we'd love to sit down with you on Wednesday. with you and your wife, we can absolutely go over the buying process. And I can show you our unique buyer advantage program where on average, we're saving our buyers somewhere between 10 and 15% on their dream home, and have a strategy for beating out the competition. So your wife really doesn't have to cry on your shoulder when you miss that perfect home. Can we get together at say 6 o'clock on Wednesday?
At 6 o'clock would work just fine.
Okay, excellent. Now, Lori, listen to this. Excellent, Brian. Can't wait to see you. So, Brian, tell me this. What's the biggest thing you want to take away from our meeting on Wednesday?
I like the idea of potentially saving a bunch of money and getting the house that I need. So yeah, I bought a house before, but I want to know what I can do to, make sure I get the best deal and get the house. Excellent.
Okay, now, Lori, you heard that. That is getting Brian to speak his commitment to showing up, making him think about what is he going to get out of it and be able to articulate it to me. And then here's another piece we add on. If you're meeting in an office, or if you're meeting in a coffee shop, third-party location, or even if you're meeting at their home, right? Some variation of this. So Brian, our concierge team, super excited. I'm going to let them all know that you're going to be here. We're going to have a sign out there with your name so that they know who you are when you show up and you feel all warm and fuzzy and welcome. And we generally offer coffee, tea, or water to anyone who comes. And so I'm going to tell them what your order is. Would you guys prefer coffee, tea, or water?
I'll take coffee, thanks.
Great. I'll let them know that you guys are coming. They'll have that set up and ready for you. So the guys just made an order for coffee that we're going to be showing up and providing to him, and other people are going to be doing it too. So will this get everyone to show up? No, it won't. But it's a couple more pieces to help flesh out those people who are just yesing you to get off the phone versus those people, if we can drive that nail home to say, hey, you said you wanted to get this. You had to think about what you were going to get out of it. And you're going to be disappointing more than just me, this strange salesperson. And you said you wanted coffee. The coffee's getting cold. I wouldn't have made it for you, right?
I like that. And then I will add again, have the agent send a video text. Hey, Dale, it's Brian. I know that you spoke with my associate, my partner, whatever you want to call that person. And I really look forward to meeting you on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So if
I have a question.
Anything, let me know.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why in God's name are we not conducting buyer consults in their apartment or in their homes? Why does that not happen?
We do that occasionally.
Yeah, you do.
Pre-COVID, we did.
Yeah. So I guess I'm speaking sort of anecdotally to the audience, but
yeah,
for nobody's doing that, Brian. You guys might be doing it. Virtually nobody else is doing that. They'll go on a listing appointment like you wouldn't have a listing appointment outside of somebody's house, right? I wouldn't.
There's a couple people who don't do it, but to me, I've got to be in the house. Like I could probably close somebody by not going to their house, but it's going to be a lower closing percentage simply because how are you going to sell my house without looking at it? People love their house. So don't be that agent.
Would you ever list your home? I would never list my home with an agent who didn't actually see it,
No, but
do I know they can sell it without seeing it? Yes, I know that. But I would still meet them. They would take a look at it, and then we would list it with them.
I agree. And I think that there are agents who have success not doing it. I know a couple, I really do. But I don't advocate it because you better be really, really, really strong, and you better be the number one team in the market. You better be something that people just want to work with you no matter what. And again, that's maybe 1% of the country. So no, absolutely not. Go to those appointments. But when I say we do this, Dale, let me rephrase this. We've done this. Going to people's houses for buyer consults. It's not a standard process for us. I don't want to give any misconceptions there. When do you ask the buyer to sign a rep agreement? It's a very interesting question. Do we want to answer that? Do we have enough time to answer that question?
Yeah, go for it, Brian.
So for me, a couple of things. Dale talks about value. I do the same thing. So we've got a VIP buyer program. And my thought is I go over my VIP buyer program, show them all the benefits. I've got things like love it or leave it. I've got a vendor support program. I've got 4 or 5 different values inside of there. They sign that. There is absolutely no benefit to me for them to sign it. There's no real benefit for them. I'm going to give them all the stuff on there, whether they sign it or not. What is it? It's the psychology of they're signing something. I follow that immediately with, hey, by the way, I need to disclose, according to the Real Estate Commission, who represents who in every transaction. So this is an agency agreement, and it covers who represents who, and it also covers compensation. So I'm just going to go over that real quick. And let me just say something before I get started. I've said this prior to this. Guys, I can realistically work with 5 to 7 buyers at any given point in time and provide them the level of service that I feel they deserve. So currently I do have some availability. Is that something you would be interested in working with me? Now, I haven't asked him to sign anything at that point in time, but I've used that script and like, yeah, we like you. We think you're good. Or, yeah, we think we want to work with you, whatever the case may be. Then I go into my VIP buyer program. Then I go into the buyer rep. And full disclosure, I've sold probably 400 houses as a buyer's agent without using a buyer rep. However, those are the old days. When you put somebody in your car in 2006, they didn't call Zillow because Zillow didn't exist. In 2021, they're talking to 7, 8, 9, 10 agents. You can lose a client like that. And here's what buyer rep is to me. It's not to protect me from that buyer getting squirrely. It's to protect that buyer from another agent. Because if Dale calls them, one of the things he's going to ask him is, by the way, are you working with another agent? Yes, I am. Great. Have you signed any paperwork with them? Yes, I have. And then Dale and me, we're going to stop then. We're like, hey, this is not a deal that I'm interested in getting involved with because I'm not crossing a sign. So that's why it's so much more important today than it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. Excellent. Good answer, Brian. Everybody, thank you for joining us for Cash Call today. Great seeing all of you out here. And Brian, are we doing a Cash Call next week?
I think that we should take next week off.
Take next week off, everybody.
It's the day before Thanksgiving, so you all enjoy Happy Turkey Day. And my Thanksgiving is my favorite because I love turkey, and it's about being thankful. So that's awesome.
I thought you were going to say and sleeping on the couch.
There's a little sleeping on the couch. A little tryptophan kicks in, and do that. Nice. So, all right, Dale, have a great holiday. If I don't talk before then, everybody at Cash Call the same, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.